Hello and welcome to Rajya TV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight. Before we take you through what made news through the day, I appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the coronavirus infection. Remember to wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing whenever you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes on our part to defeat the ongoing pandemic. And now the headlines of the day. India is serious about growing in the maritime sector and emerging as a leading blue economy of the world, asserts Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Maritime India Summit. Invites global players and private sector to invest in India, says government ready with 400 projects with investment potential of 2.25 lakh crore rupees. Over 50 lakh registrations in the first 2 days of the second phase of vaccination drive. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh take the first jab of COVID vaccine. Nearly 1.5 crore people vaccinated in the country so far. Auction of telecom spectrum concludes. Airwaves worth over 77,814 crore rupees bought in two-day auction. Spectrum to be allocated for a period of 20 years. Nominations begin for the first phase of polls in West Bengal and Assam to continue till the 9th of March. Voting on 27th March for 30 seats in West Bengal and 47 seats of Assam. Pakistan continues to support dreaded terrorists, asserts India at the United Nations Human Rights Council, slams Pakistan for propaganda against India. Rejects Organisation of Islamic Cooperation statements on Jammu and Kashmir, says it has no locus standi on the matter. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Maritime India Summit 2021 on Tuesday with an aim to boost investment and make India Atmanirbhar in this sector. Inviting the global players to invest in India, the Prime Minister said, India has carried out various reforms in recent years to strengthen the maritime sector. More details in this report. Addressing the Maritime India Summit 2021 on Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserted that India is emerging as a leading blue economy of the world. He said that the government is looking to achieve the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat by reforms in the maritime sector.
India is very sincere about growing in the maritime sector and emerging as a leading blue economy of the world. Our leading focus area includes upgrade current infrastructure, create next generation infrastructure, boost the reform journey. Through these steps, we aim to give strength to our vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
The Prime Minister said that the government has taken various steps for strengthening the maritime sector by increasing investments in ports.
The capacity of major ports, which was around 870 million tons per annum in 2014, has increased to around 1,550 million tons per annum now. Our ports have reduced waiting time for inbound and outbound cargo. We are also investing heavily in development of storage facilities at the port and plug-and-play infrastructure for attracting industries to Portland.
Inviting the global players and the private sector to invest in the maritime sector, the Prime Minister said that the government has identified more than 574 projects at a cost of 6 lakh crore rupees for implementation during 2030 and 2035. He said the coming together of various stakeholders related to the sector will help in boosting the maritime economy.
Through this Maritime India Summit, I want to invite the world to come to India and be a part of our growth trajectory. That summit brings together many stakeholders relating to this sector. I'm sure together we will achieve great success in boosting the maritime economy.
During the summit, Prime Minister Modi launched the e-book Maritime India Vision 2030, which identifies key growth areas for the development of the maritime sector. He also launched the Sagar Manthan Mercantile Marine Domestic Centre, which is an information system for enhancing maritime safety, search and rescue capabilities and protection of marine environment. Organized by the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, the 3-day Maritime India Summit has been organized to make India self-reliant in the maritime sector and boost investments. The summit is being attended by 1,17,000 participants from 50 countries who registered online. CEOs of 44 companies from different countries like Russia, USA, Denmark, Brazil, Japan, Sweden, Singapore are participating in the summit. Denmark is the partner country for the 3-day summit. The government has prepared a list of 400 projects in the maritime sector with investment potential of 2.25 lakh crore rupees. With inputs from Navikram Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. According to various studies, the total contribution of blue economy in each country's total GDP ranges from 5 to 10%. However, in case of India, this contribution is a significant 15 to 20%. Its 7,517-kilometer long coastline is home to 9 coastal states and 1,382 islands. The country has 12 major ports and about 200 non-major ports as well, handling about 1,400 million tons of cargo every year.
India is the 7th largest country in the world in terms of area, with the 2nd largest population. Its dependence on the seas is immense for food security, transportation, energy and tourism. The country's large coastline, spread over 7,500 kilometers, is home to 9 coastal states and 1,382 islands, is able to partly meet these necessities. India's exclusive economic zone of over 2 million square kilometers is rich in living and non-living resources and holds significant recoverable resources of crude oil and of recoverable natural gas. Indian shipping industry has over the years played a crucial role in the transport sector of India's economy. Approximately 95% of the country's trade by volume and 68% by value travels over the sea and is served by a network of major and minor and intermediate ports. The coastal economy also sustains over 4 million fishermen and other coastal communities. In the Indian context, a blue economy would be the sum total of economic activities involving marine resources like fisheries, deep-sea mining and offshore petroleum. With these vast maritime interests, the blue economy in India has a vital relationship with the nation's economic growth. The NDA government in its first term initiated Sagarmala, a multi-crore program aimed at revitalizing India's ports and maritime infrastructure, including inland maritime, transportation and coastal shipping. As on January 2020, a total of 161 projects at a cost of 90,000 crores have been completed and 178 projects at a cost of 1,96,578 crore are under implementation. Government's 10-year blueprint for the maritime sector, Maritime India Vision 2030, envisages developing world-class ports infrastructure, small ports, ocean and island cruise, and urban transport system on waterways. India's initiatives in maritime strategies are increasing and are highly respected. In 2013, India signed a trilateral maritime security accord with Maldives and Sri Lanka. India has joined hands with Japan for the Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, which is a sea corridor linking Africa with India and other countries in Southeast Asia. India has been slowly expanding its strategic reach across the seas. However, there is still room to improve the relations with other states in the region. Blue economy has the largest potential to grow and is also growing much faster than the rest of the economy. It is necessary for India to tap into enormous potential of the ocean-based resources, which could propel the nation into a high-growth trajectory. With the target of achieving a USD 10 trillion economy by 2032, the maritime sector will have a major contribution to make. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In some other news, Union Minister Thawarchand Gehlot on Tuesday launched the Sugamya Bharat app, a crowdsourcing mobile application and a handbook titled Access the Photo Digest to enhance accessibility. The application will allow people with disabilities and even the elderly to register accessibility-related problems in buildings or transport system by simply uploading pictures on it. The app provides 5 main features, 4 of which are directly related to enhancing accessibility, while the 5th one is a special feature meant only for people with disabilities for coronavirus-related issues. The minister said that the app is meant for sensitizing and enhancing accessibility in the 3 pillars of the Accessible India campaign, which is building environment, transportation sector and ICT ecosystem in India. The 2-day auction of telecom spectrum concluded on Tuesday. The government sold 855.60 megahertz of spectrum for over 77,814 crore rupees after 6 rounds of bidding. In the first auction of radio airwaves in 5 years, the government offered 2,308.80 megahertz of spectrum in 7 bands at a reserve price of nearly 4 lakh crore rupees. However, airwaves in the premium 700 megahertz and 2,500 megahertz bands went unsold. 3 bidders, Bharti Airtel Limited, Vodafone Idea Limited and Reliance Jio Infocom Limited participated in the auction. With the deployment of additional spectrum acquired in this auction, the quality of service and experience of telecom consumers across the country are expected to improve. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal addressed the first India Toy Fair on Tuesday. He said there is no dearth of talent in India and that 17,000 new ideas emerged during the digital event. While inaugurating the fair, Prime Minister Modi, remember, had urged the toy makers to come up with innovative and eco-friendly toys for children. On popular demand, the fair has been extended for 2 days, that is till the 4th of March.
There are a lot of success stories in the toy industry that have often been discussed, but I'm glad that this Toycathon that was held has really come up with a lot of new ideas. I believe 17,000 plus new ideas, and the government has identified toys as one of the champion sectors, the focus sectors, with a proper long-term vision and plan to develop toy clusters all over the country and the toy manufacturing to be made truly a national movement with large volumes, high productivity and quality toys being offered to the world.
Let's now take a look at the coronavirus situation in the country. India's COVID-19 cases tally rose to over 1.11 crore with 12,286 new infections reported in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra, Kerala, Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat are seeing a surge in daily new cases. Maharashtra continued to report the highest daily cases at 6,397, followed by Kerala with 1,938 cases, while Punjab reported 633 new cases. The 3 states, along with Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, account for 80.33% of the fresh cases in the country. Meanwhile, India's active case load was recorded at 1,68,000, comprising 1.51% of the country's total positive cases. The death toll has increased to 1,57,248, with 91 new deaths reported in the last 24 hours, while the recoveries in the country have surged to 1.07 crore. The COVID-19 recovery rate in India now stands at 97.07%.
कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी साहब ने एक बड़ी मीटिंग ली शनिवार के दिन, इन सब स्टेट्स के साथ में बिल्कुल चर्चा करी और एम्फेसाइज किया उन्होंने कि जिस तरह से हम इस महामारी को काबू करने में सक्षम हुए थे, वो प्रयास तेज़ गति से रहे, साइंस ड्रिवन रहे और पूरी चौकसी रहे।
On day 2 of the second phase of the COVID vaccination drive, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh took the first dose of the coronavirus vaccine at the Indian Army's Research and Referral Hospital in New Delhi. Allaying apprehensions, the Defence Minister said that the vaccine is completely safe and hassle-free, lauding scientists and the doctors for developing the vaccine in a short span of time. He urged every eligible citizen to take the vaccine and make India COVID-free. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan and his wife also took the first dose of the COVID vaccine on Tuesday. They were administered the indigenously developed COVID-19 vaccine, the Covaxin, at the Delhi Heart and Lung Institute. Calling COVID-19 vaccine a Sanjeevani in the fight against coronavirus, the Health Minister appealed to all eligible people to take the vaccine and negate any rumor related to the vaccine.
कोविड के खिलाफ लड़ाई में हम सब भारतवासियों के लिए संजीवनी का काम कर रहेगी। हनुमान जी को संजीवनी को लाने के लिए आधे भारत को क्रॉस करके उड़कर जाना पड़ा था, लेकिन आपके लिए देशवासियों ये संजीवनी आपके निकट के सरकारी एवं प्राइवेट अस्पताल के अंदर उपलब्ध है।
Nearly 1.5 crore vaccine doses have been administered across the country so far, of which 67 lakh healthcare workers have been given the first dose of the vaccine and 25 lakh healthcare workers have been administered the second dose as well. Besides, 53 lakh frontline workers have received the first dose of the vaccine till date. 2,08,000 people above the age of 60 and those aged above 45 years with comorbidities have taken the first dose of the vaccine in 2 days. India started the second phase of the inoculation drive on Monday to include people over 60 years and those over 45 in the high-risk category. Over 50 lakh potential beneficiaries have registered themselves on the CoWIN portal so far in 2 days. Moving to some other news now, it's a clean sweep for the ruling BJP in Gujarat district panchayat polls. The party has won all 31 district panchayat seats. The party has also won 75 out of 81 municipalities that went to the polls. The Congress party won 4 municipalities, while 2 have been won by others. The BJP also won 196 out of 229 taluka panchayats, of which the results have been declared so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that these results show that Gujarat is firmly with the BJP's agenda of development and good governance. He thanked the people of the state for the unwavering faith and affection towards the BJP. In view of the Congress debacle in the local body polls, State Unit President Amit Chavda and Leader of Opposition Paresh Dhanani have resigned from their posts. Notification for the first phase of assembly elections has been issued in Assam and West Bengal, and with this, the nominations for the first phase have begun in both these states. In West Bengal, the first phase of polling will be held on the 27th of March for 30 seats. Elections in the state will be held in 8 phases for a total of 294 assembly seats. The Election Commission has also extended the voting time for the first phase of assembly elections in West Bengal by 30 minutes. The voters will now be able to exercise their franchise from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. The decision was taken in view of the COVID-19 restrictions. In Assam, 47 seats will go to polls in the first phase on the 27th of March. Elections in the state will be held in 3 phases for the 126-seat assembly. Amid an ongoing exodus from the ruling Trinamool Congress party ahead of the West Bengal Assembly elections, two-time party MLA and former Asansol Mayor Jitendra Tiwari joined the BJP on Tuesday. Tiwari joined the party in the presence of party state chief Dilip Ghosh in Hooghly. Campaigning, meanwhile, has picked up pace in the poll-bound state. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath campaigned for the BJP in Malda district. Targeting the ruling Trinamool Congress, he said the state is in a state of chaos under the leadership of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee.
तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करके बंगाल के सामाजिक और यहां की आध्यात्मिक व्यवस्था के साथ सांस्कृतिक व्यवस्था के साथ खिलवाड़ करके बंगाल की पहचान को अपने वोट बैंक के लिए नष्ट करना चाहते हैं। उनको मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने का अवसर आपके साथ आपके पास विधानसभा चुनाव के माध्यम से आया है। मैं आप सभी का आह्वान करने के लिए आया हूं कि बंगाल की धरती को हम अराजकता की धरती नहीं बनने देंगे।
Meanwhile, infighting within the Congress ahead of the elections in West Bengal surfaced after Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary hit out at his colleague Anand Sharma for undermining the party's interest by making remarks which he said were in tune with the BJP's agenda. This after Anand Sharma on Monday questioned the Congress party's tie-up with Indian Secular Front in West Bengal, saying it was against the party's core ideology and Gandhian and Nehruvian secularism. Sharma had said that the issue of alliance should have been discussed and approved by the Congress Working Committee. Meanwhile, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on Tuesday campaigned for her party in poll-bound Assam. Addressing a rally in Tejpur, Gandhi asserted that the Congress, if voted to power in the state, will bring a new law to nullify the Citizenship Amendment Act. She launched the 5 Guarantees campaign and promised that her party will hike daily wages of tea garden workers and also provide at least 25,000 government jobs to the youth.
चौथी जो गारंटी है वो गारंटी खास उन महिलाओं के लिए है, उन श्रमिकों के लिए है जो चाय के बागान में काम करती हैं। और क्या गारंटी है ये कि उनको 365 रुपए का वेतन मिलेगा। कांग्रेस पार्टी ये कह रही है कि जब हमारी सरकार बनेगी तो कम से कम 5 लाख सरकारी नौकरियां बनेंगी।
Madhya Pradesh Finance Minister Jagdish Devra presented a budget of 2.41 lakh crore rupees for the year 2021-22 in the State Assembly with no additional tax burden. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan described the state's budget for 2021-22 as one aimed at making Madhya Pradesh Atmanirbhar. For infrastructure, the budget has made a provision of 44,152 crore rupees. 40,958 crore rupees have been allocated for providing quality education at government schools, and 9 new government medical colleges will also be set up in the state. India has once again highlighted Pakistan's continued support to cross-border terrorism and providing safe haven to terrorists at the United Nations Human Rights Council. Expressing India's right to reply to statements made by Pakistan and OIC at the 46th session of the UN Human Rights Council, Pawan Kumar Badhe, First Secretary, Permanent Mission of India, said, Pakistan has provided pensions to dreaded and listed terrorists out of state funds and has the dubious distinction of hosting the largest number of terrorists proscribed by the United Nations. The leaders of the country have admitted to the same, but have outrightly ignored the fact that terrorism is the worst form of human rights abuse and the supporters of terrorism are the worst abusers of human rights. India also rejected the Organization of Islamic Cooperation statements on the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The First Secretary in his statement said, and I quote, "We reject the reference made to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir in the statement of the OIC. It has no locus standi to comment on matters related to Jammu and Kashmir, which is an integral and inalienable part of India. It is regrettable that OIC continues to allow itself to be exploited by Pakistan to indulge in anti-India propaganda," unquote. In response to a statement by Pakistan's representative, India said Pakistan should also end institutionalized violation of human rights of its minority community as well as other communities in the country. India also slammed Pakistan for deliberately misusing the council for its malicious propaganda against India. Moving to some other news now. Six-term BJP MP from Khandwa, Nand Kumar Singh Chauhan, passed away on Tuesday at the age of 69. He had tested positive for COVID-19 and was reported to be in a critical condition. President Ramnath Kovind condoled Chauhan's demise. He said that Nand Kumar Chauhan was striving for the development of the entire state along with Khandwa. Expressing grief on the death of the Lok Sabha member, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu said that Chauhan always championed the cause of the farmers, the poor and the downtrodden. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed anguish at Chauhan's demise and said that the former Madhya Pradesh party president will be remembered for his contributions to parliamentary proceedings as well as his efforts to strengthen the party across Madhya Pradesh. And that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, let me remind all our viewers once again to maintain COVID-appropriate behavior in order to stay safe from the coronavirus pandemic. Remember to wear your face masks and wash your hands and face regularly. Also ensure that you maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic, which is not over yet. Good night and thank you for your time.